All right, so for your collage, I'm just gonna download my images. I'm gonna drag them right into my collage here, just like so. All right, there we go. It just finds its way inside there. I'm gonna use my transforming tool, which is this tool right up here at the top. Remember these properties, you wanna show your transform controls over here, which shows that check mark. I am going to grab my picture and size it to where I want it to be. I'm going to hold down my shift key here and I'm going to rotate so I can see when I move to the outside of my box, it becomes a rotate. Shift key will go perfect angles here like that. I'm going to drag it up like so, put it in here, and then I have to hit that almighty checkbox here at the top, just like that. Kaboom. All right. Now, if I want these to be the same size, I could duplicate instead of doing this. So maybe what I'll do is, let's get rid of, let's just hide that layer for now. So here's my first layer here. I have it where I want it. I hit that check mark. So now I'm going to select the subject. So I'm going to go to select. I'm going to say subject. I'm hoping it's going to do a good job. There we go. It looks like it did a nice job. Command plus on my keyboard lets me zoom in. Space bar allows me to drag it down this way. I can see that it made a nice line around the outside of my figure. So then I'm just going to come down here to the bottom. This button right here is the layer mask button. And I'm just going to layer mask it just like that. So that's perfect. So now I can move myself around a little bit. Make sure I fit. Like that. Command minus zooms me out. Now if I want a couple more of those at the top, all I can do over here is I'll just right click and I'll say duplicate layer. I'm going to say, I don't know, I'm going to call it tiny head 2. And I'm just going to say OK. And this time I'm not transferring it anywhere else. I'm just putting it there. And now it's right on top, so I can move it over like that. And then I'm going to right click on this one and I'm going to say duplicate layer. And I'm going to say, instead of tiny head 2 copy, I'm going to say tiny head 3. And I'm going to say OK. And then for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to trash this layer. I just drag it into the trash can here. And I'm going to duplicate this layer one more time. Oh, I forgot to move this one. Sorry. Make sure I'm on the right layer here. That's that one trashed. I'm on this layer here. I'm going to move this guy over like this. I think I trashed the wrong layer. That's all right. Duplicate layer like so. And I'm going to call this one tiny head 1. There we go. So I just made 3 copies of that little tiny head. Just like so. And it looks wonderful. And if I want to copy these, I can hold down my shift key and I can select all 3 of these layers. And I'm using my arrow keys on my keyboard. I'm just moving them over a little bit. And I'm moving them so they fit. Just like that. All right. Command minus on the keyboard. So that's how you're going to bring all your stuff in here. And again, you want to trim these things out. If you want a little better detail on here, remember if I double click on the layer mask over here, it'll enter me into the mask and select menu, which looks like this. There we go. And then up here, I can select, this is what my mask looks like so far, which actually looks pretty good. Onion skin is so I can actually see the picture. Red is just so I can see the mask a little better. Like if I zoom in, I can see here with my hair, or like this part down here, I want to add or subtract to some of that. So up here I have some choices of some brushes here where I can add and subtract. So this is like a selection edition one. This is for your hair. And this one is for just color. So I'm going to try the hairbrush. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You also have to forgive me that occasionally, I can't remember if it's black or white. Like I can never remember if it's plus or minus down here. So let's try plus. I'm going to make a small brush here. Again, you can adjust the brush size just like you would with your normal paintbrush. I'm going to paint this. All right, so that looks a little harsh. I'm going to say Command Z is undo. I'm going to just see if I can tickle the outside of the hair here. Yeah, it looks like it's doing an okay job. Maybe it's taking away a little too much hair there. Yeah, I need all the hair I can get these days too. I don't want to take away too much here, so let's go this way. All right, I think that's as good as that's going to go here. Let's try this part down here. Yeah, I'm just like touching the edge of this and it's finding its way. Like that. Maybe the edge of these glasses here a little bit. All right, and you can always clean up the selection in the regular picture as well. Like these flyaway hairs and stuff I don't like, so I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this one that's below it here. This is here. Oh, that's the wrong one, so I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to paint this out, and I'm going to paint these out here on the top. Like that. I'm going to paint this part out on here. And I'm going to get that pretty close like that. I'm going to clean this up here. All right, so you can get that pretty clean. Let's go to plus and let's see if this, yeah, I think that's the end of that. Beard looks okay. That computer does a pretty good job. All right, so after I get everything where I want it, I can do that. Don't forget also, let's see if I just look at the black and white version, I can go to smooth. So if I look at the hair here in the front where my forehead is, if I go to smooth, that smooths everything out a little bit. And you just want to be careful you don't smooth too much because you look like a licked popsicle. Feathering makes the edges softer here. So if I pull this that way, you can see it gets a little fuzzier. And then contrast helps clean up some of those flyaways, like you can see at the top of my head up here or out in front of the glasses. If I increase the contrast, it just sort of gets rid of some of those ghosts. And then finally, shifting edge makes it smaller or makes it expand out this way. All right, and that's helpful when you're actually starting to blend it into the background. So now I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to go Command minus zooms me out. And that will sort of get everybody into your spaces here, just like that. All right, I think that's good for the first part.